Alright, what is up, you guys? It's Jake State Farm here with Atomic Theory, and we are back with another Atomic Chess video. And in today's video, we are trying out a new challenge, one that I think can be actually pretty useful, and that might be useful for the viewers to do as well, if you're looking to improve. But we are trying to play a different opening every game, and as you can see, I've defined opening as for the white pieces, making a different first move every game, so just making sure I don't make the same first move in any game. And then as black, making sure I make a unique two-move sequence for every game. So for instance, my opponent played knight f3, f6, knight c3, and c6. So if I get knight f3 and knight c3 in a game again, I'm not allowed to play c6 on the second move here. This was the first game of the arena. I had some trouble with the setup, so I wasn't able to record this first game, but it ended up actually being a pretty nice game here. If you'll see this nice tactic of knight e2, I think this is almost already actually knight takes e2 maybe. Oh wow, he just had yeah, he had some some ways to win this, but we kind of got into a rough position, and then after this I had this nice move of knight c3, which is threatening knight takes a2 and chomping on this g4 pawn as well to get my rook in the game. So he decided to recapture, and then there was no hope here. I guess he did miss mate, which is a little embarrassing. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the challenge will work. We are one game in so far, so I am a little worried about it. I mean, honestly, I will say this. I am way more worried from the black side than I am from the white side, simply because for me, depending on how many games I play, even if I play, say, 15 games as white, it'll be no problem playing 15 different first moves as white. I mean, white has so many good moves to play, and like even if you make a bad move, a lot of times you're just actually equalizing the position. So there's a ton of moves that I can play as white. I'm actually not too worried about that one. But as black, I am a little worried. Like just say like if I run into 5 people in a row that play 2 knights, like I really need to mix it up. I also have to be smart about it here. In this game, we're playing against 1400, and I'd normally love to berserk and play something like e3, but I don't want to use my e3 move yet, so let's go with something like c3 instead. Okay. I'm already out of my preparation. I never play this line. But the nice thing is after the first move, we can do literally anything we want. It doesn't matter if it transposes into another position that we've had. It's just making a different first move every single game. Okay, and awesome. There we go with checkmate right off the bat. One other thing about this challenge as well is it's going to be kind of a memory challenge. I'm going to go back through at the end of the video, and if I have repeated somewhere along the way, then unfortunately that will be a loss for the challenge. So I'm just going to try to memorize it as I'm going. I would normally play knight h6 here. I'm not too worried about. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get knight h6, knight g4 in against this exact line any other time, so it should be good. Yeah, I'm really worried about 2 knights, right? Because like against knight f3, I can go e5 or d6, but then after knight g5, my options are pretty limited. I guess I also have queen takes g5 and the e5 line. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty nervous. I guess there's another line, f6, like after knight f3, f6, knight c3, d5. I'm just trying to think, like, 2 knights is really the one where it feels like we don't have that many replies. Like, even knight f3, e3 spam, we could go f6, e6, f6, d5, f6, d6, which is a very solid line. Trying to think what else. That might be it. Oh, f6 e5 is the defense. F6 c6 is a defense, actually, believe it or not, against that. So against knight f3 e3 spam, I feel like I have a lot. I guess 2 knights I've just always thought it's either f6 c6 or it's f6 knight h6. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit on that. If I'm playing against someone that I know is going for 2 knights, then I'm probably going to go e5 against them. All right, here we are going against a pretty strong player here. Let's go ahead and use knight h3, which is one of our, knight h3, knight f3, and e3 are obviously the best first moves that I can play, at least from my opening knowledge of my personal skills are my 3 most common, so I'll use one of those because I am playing against probably one of the stronger players in the tournament. Kind of have to be strategic on when I use my good openings, but we'll save my best openings for if I am going against a really strong player. Okay, I think knight c4 here works. The idea being after b takes, I just have queen a4. No way to stop that. And there's no d takes, so I'm really just looking at bishop c5 or queen b6. But after bishop c5, I think I'm okay after bishop e3. There's no bishop g4 ideas because this e6 pawn. There's no d takes e4 because of queen takes. So yeah, let's go knight c4. I think this works. It's a pretty common idea in these lines. You pretty much always want to go for knight c4 if it works. But you always need to be mindful of black's play on this diagonal. I did think about a move like this, but I'll be honest, I'm honestly not too worried about this. I'm just going to go ahead and start with knight e5. I'm not sure if it was the best move or not, but just go ahead and get a tempo with my knight. And let's go ahead and wreak havoc. Yeah, there's no queen b6, no queen a5. We're threatening this pawn here. Queen c7, we've got knight d6. So we should be looking pretty good here. And once we get the queen off the board, I think it's just c takes d and we're chilling. Yeah, there's no bishop b4 threat, so we've still got bishop takes b5, so very important to note there. Let's go knight f4. Our knight's not doing too much here on h3. It's also considering bishop f4, bishop c4. A lot of moves to consider, but I like knight f4, just kind of centralizing our knight here. And now we should be good. He is thinking about what opening I might potentially play for the next game. Yeah, so the reason I say this is a good challenge for my viewers to do is I am a firm believer that, as you know, if you know anything about Atomic, a lot of the game does boil down to the opening. The opening just decides so much, right? Like in standard chess, if 2 of the top players are playing against each other, there is times where, you know, you can definitely out-prep your opponent for sure. But a lot of times the game really gets decided in the middle game. You know, if somebody's making a mistake in the middle game, you know, it's very easy to recover from a small inaccuracy in the opening. Well, in this challenge, in Atomic rather, I think it's really the opposite. Like if 2 really strong players are playing against each other, much of it really does boil down to which one of them has better opening prep, which one of them was able to figure out what the other one was going to play and prep accordingly. I think that's what you see at the top level for like AWC matches and stuff. They can often be decided just simply by prep. And so, of course, there's way more that goes into it. You know, good players in Atomic are able to salvage bad positions. I just think that plays a huge role. And because of that, I think one of the best ways to improve in Atomic chess is just to learn a bunch of different openings, just to try to play a little bit of everything, truly. Because I think, you know, without being able to comfortably play everything, people can really easily prep against you, right? Like even if knight f3, e3 is my best line, which is one of the lines that I'm definitely the most comfortable in, like if people know I'm going to play that, then they can prep so many lines. But if I have a bunch of different lines that I'm comfortable in, then yeah, I'm golden. And if you just watched the video I just released on the opening that I made, the Farmer's Gambit, you know, that's an opening that I was just like, oh, this idea seems fun. Let me take it and run with it. And sure enough, it's ended up becoming, you know, one of my favorite openings to play, honestly. And so, and honestly, I am looking for another opening to, I guess, you know, sort of invent, if you will. I'm looking for a new opening that's maybe a little bit lesser known that I can potentially start playing and getting some wins with. So maybe this video I'll end up finding a line that I like. Who knows? Some line that I can play as the white side probably. And yeah, it's been kind of my goal. I've been playing some e3 knight a3, which I like fine, but mean, it's not great. Like, there's just not a whole lot of traps in it. I like the idea of like kind of the subtle move of knight a3. Like, you're not playing something like knight f3, that's really committal, kind of blocking your queen, kind of forcing a reply from black. Knight a3 is like, black can do a lot of different things, and I've had some fun with it. There is like one really fun trap with it, one crazy trap in it that some players have fallen for, but in general, it's not a very trappy line. You just basically get kind of an even position out of it. So, as white, I like having an opening where there's a bunch of different traps that black can fall for. Okay, here we go. Do we risk pawn to f6? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. I really don't want to see knight c3. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm just worried that we're gonna. So the dilemma is between e6 and d5. I don't think I want to play d6. Let's go d5. I'm trying to think. I probably just want to save e6 for another player. I'm gonna go for this line. I know this line a little bit better. After takes. Okay, he goes queen f3. Interesting. I don't know the prep here at all. Is it e5 or e6? Oh, it's gotta be e6. And then I guess knight f7, queen c8, I reckon? Or was I supposed to play c6 there instead? I don't really know. This line is a mystery to me. They always just pretty much go f3 there instead of queen f3. I know this is, I think, technically a little better for black. Like, I should be happy to see this, but I also just don't know what I'm doing. I can't go queen d6 because there's bishop b5 there. So I guess it's got to be queen c8. And then I'm looking at knight d8. I would play b5. Okay, that's okay. c6 is a happy move for me. But he also needed to get his bishop out so he can move his queen, probably to g3. And then I'll go pawn to e5. Okay, that makes sense too. I think I have to go e5 here. Yeah, knight e6 we're just going to take. And this knight doesn't actually have any great squares to go to. Even knight b7, that's a bad move. He's trading off his knight here for my bishop there. Yeah, now we're perfectly happy. Even f5 is possible here. Yeah, I think I want to go for it. I'm not too worried about this. There's no queen h4, queen g5 stuff. I've just got knight f6. If he goes here, I think I'll eventually win that. Because I could have played something like... I see the idea here. I see the idea. Yeah, but queen f4, we've got knight g4, so we're okay there with this double attack. Yeah, if he had taken here, which is probably his best move, I liked my chances of converting that. I would have just taken here, and then like my knight's open, my queen's open on this diagonal with these pawns here. So I think I would have been fine there. In fact, we might actually kind of see it transpose here in a similar way as queen a6. I mean, he's going to push this pawn, but then queen a6 is going to be pretty deadly. With these pawns here, just makes this diagonal so deadly. So I don't honestly know what he should have done. Okay, he can go knight b5. Let's see what he's got here. And I do need to be wary not to hang anything. Okay, interesting. Would have been curious to see if he had pawn to c3 there. I don't know. Yeah, at this point I'm just gonna go for the easy win. I'm up 2 pawns here. I probably could have calculated something out better than that, but I didn't like having his bishop here on e7 and just boxing in my king like that. So let's just go for the simple way. Alright, I do want to take a look at this game really quickly though. I just want to look at that key moment because I'm not so sure. I think I played the opening okay. But this was the position I was curious about. So I couldn't go queen c4 because he had knight takes d5. That's what I wanted to play. b5 makes a lot of sense. Okay, knight b5, queen a4. Did he have pawn to c3? Oh, I didn't see that this came with this mate threat. And I was thinking if I didn't have mate, right? Was I? Oh, I would have had king d7. Okay, that was the only thing I was a little bit curious about. But it looks like we would have been okay no matter what. I didn't realize I was threatening that f-pawn. All right, so we've played b3, we've played c3, we've played knight h3. let's go pawn to e4. I've never really played this move. Maybe he'll go e5, which is a classic trick. Okay, he knows it. Looks like going for the French defense. Interesting. Let's go bishop g5. I'm not too worried about queen f6. I'll just go pawn f3, and this way, now we're kind of blocking in his queen here. So now he's got to waste a move to go f5, which is actually a really strong move. And I think I'll go knight h3. Maybe he'll blunder something like g5. Yeah, I was a 1300 once, man. I know how 1300s. I know how they think, man. Sometimes you just gotta set those traps, get those quick wins. Very important skill to have when the chess.com championship rolls around, and you get matched up with anyone and everyone in the qualifier. You get matched up against the top guy one game, and then get matched up against like a 200 the next game. So knowing those little tricks that low-rated players will fall for actually becomes a skill. You wouldn't really think it, but it is a skill that you can kind of think about, because like you're not really playing hope chess. Like knight h3 is not a bad move, and it's potentially the move I would make anyway. But I'm kind of thinking like a player at that level. Like, okay, how do I get this guy to fall for a trap? All right, I'm getting worried now, dude. I'm getting super worried. There's a 2100 in here. Okay, great. He goes for knight d4. We're happy to see this. If he had played knight c3, I can still use knight h6, but I'll be running out of options quick. And the thing is, like, this is what's tough about it, right? Like, I'm playing this opening, jumping for joy over here, that I'm playing an opening that is, what I would play anyway. And by no means am I winning this. Let's see if I can remember the idea here. So, there's a couple different ideas. I know knight a6 is a move. At least I think. Oh, it's something like g6, knight b5, knight a6. I know that's an idea. Or maybe it's h5 first. But then there's another idea of like e6, knight b5, bishop b4, c3, queen e7. But there's not just queen h5 there. Okay, let's go for g6, knight b5. We'll go knight a6. Okay. This is a line, though, I think. I actually think black is okay here. Start with this. Probably is going to go e4. Okay, wow. He seems to really know this, and that is scary for me, because I already feel like I'm losing. He's going to get the queen trade here, which is not good. Now he's up a crag ton of material. But we've got this diagonal. Okay, let's try to get our knight over to d2, maybe. Because now after takes, we do guard this b1 square from his rook. And our rook is potentially coming over to f8. So I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, we'll trade off those bishops. Then we got to get some play here for our rook. Okay. He wants to go here with this fork. So let's stop that. And then you go to our rook lifted here. Yeah, I was about to say a5 is a pretty strong move here, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to come here. I do have a little trap here, though, that I can set. I'm going to go h5, and it's covering this square from his knight. So I potentially have h5 and then rook g7. Let's see if he sees it. Okay, I think he missed it. a7, we might be heading for a draw, but I honestly think I can win this game now with the rook and the knight. I think I'm going to be able to win this game. But we'll see. Let's get our knight over here. Okay, yep, I think I am, because he can't go king b2, and after there I've got knight check. I don't know where he goes now. Ooh, man. Let's see what I mean, though. Like, against knight f3, f6, knight d4, like, I really have to play knight h6. Like, if I go against this guy again, I think I pretty much have to go for e5, because against knight f3, knight d4, what other lines do I have? I guess I have, like, e6 as an idea. Like, there are moves I can play, but they're all just, like, a lot worse for black. Like, none of them are immediately checkmate, but they all seem to be just quite a bit worse. GG's to my opponent. That one was difficult for sure. Yeah, he definitely had me. He just missed my idea of h5 and then bringing my rook over to the g7 square. Okay, going against the 1900, do I want to go for knight f3 or e3? Let's go for b4. Let's see if we can maybe transpose into something that I already know. Okay, and immediately he cuts off that idea. Actually, I'm going to play e4 instead. Just be a little bit more active here. Okay, this actually does kind of transpose into like knight f, like from white, like knight f3, e5. But I just have b4 on the board here, so I'm definitely going to go here. What does this change, though? I mean, it's got to be good for me, right? I'm definitely at least blocking in this bishop. I'm trying to think now, like, as black, what are the main ideas? I think this is fine for me. It is interesting. Against b3 and b4, we saw knight f6. I know this is an idea, like you know, starting with like knight c3 or knight a3, and then after knight f6, playing e4 and kind of transposing into a common line from the other side of things. Alright, it's just weird looking at the board this way, though. Do I want to go h4, I guess? Yeah, let's just go for this line, like knight f2, queen f3 type plans, and we're just going to go for like an f5 pawn push here. Yeah, this b4 pawn is nice, especially the way he's played it. There's probably a good way to punish this. It's probably a good way to punish this, but the way that he's played it, like this, opening up his bishop, our b4 pawn is actually quite nice here, so maybe he'll go knight d2. Just makes a lot of sense. But right, as he's making these moves, we're kind of getting to make moves, developing moves that we want to make. We want to get our queen on this file here. We want to get our pawn pushed to d4, and we want to get our bishop out to d3. Now we'd really love to see knight takes f3. This is a fine idea too, but I think we're going to just have too much play over here. I already could have actually gone bishop takes h7, which may have been the correct idea. And notice how good this pawn on b4 is going to be for us, just stopping any bishop moves with a tempo here. Okay, now we got to think. We don't have too much time. I guess we'll take this way with the threat of taking like this maybe. And if he pushes, I think we're just going to push to f6. Ooh, that can't be the right move. But how do we punish it? Yeah, queen f6. I think I've got queen h5. And after takes, I've got castles. Okay. Instead, we'll just go rook f1. Don't want to hang mate there. Probably could have played that better there at the end. Probably had something more forcing, but we still got the win either way. g5 was a really odd move. It was a very weakening move, just giving me the h5 square for my queen to come in behind his pawns here. Also giving me bishop g6, which was probably an easier, simpler win. But all that being said, we did get the job done. And man, why? Oh, dude, I am going to go down so many rating points, bro. Why is this the arena that all of the strong players chose to play in? We've got a 2200. Okay, at least we've got white against him. So let's open with knight f3. We're going to use one of our okay, and he berserked right before playing his move, which was a little strange. If you know me, you know I'm definitely going to zerk back no matter what. So that was a little strange, but yeah, we're halfway through the arena, and we've already used most of our good stuff. And hypothetically speaking, we should be playing against harder players later in the arena. That's just how it goes, because the higher rated players will tend to gravitate towards the top. Now, once again, I'm not too worried about the white side, just because no matter what move we make, we shouldn't be too far behind as the white pieces. So that I'm not too concerned about. It's more so from the black side that I'm pretty nervous about. Okay, how do I want to go about this here? Looking at a couple different ideas here. One idea is just to go bishop g5 immediately. even bishop takes h6, which is a really weird move. I guess it doesn't work right now. Let's go bishop g5. If he goes knight f6, I'm probably just going to trade this off. And that's the other idea, but now I have queen c1, or maybe I start with pawn h4. I think I start with pawn h4. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a queen trade, I think, at the end of it. I'm going to go queen c1, and we're probably going to trade off queen somehow. I guess there's like rook f7, rook h7 as well, but that seems pretty ugly. His rook is just going to get kind of, yeah, he's going to go for it, but this rook on the h file is not going to do great. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I stand corrected. He is going to block with this queen. Guess we'll go queen g5. There's knight f6. Yeah, let's go for this. Let's go bishop d3. He can't go e5. We're maybe threatening to go e5. Oh yeah, e5 is a strong threat here for us because queen h6, and then we're threatening bishop g6. That's actually a really good move on his part. I'm still going to go for this, though. After takes, we have this and takes here, and we should be looking good here. Now we're up material, and we've got a pretty pleasant position. And I am very much not regretting the fact that I didn't zerk back here. He does have some ideas with e5. Okay, but he lets us block it. He lets us block it, and I should be okay here. This is scary, though. I think he's probably just going to eventually flag, thankfully, but he is playing this really well. He's got me kind of worried. I need to drop back. Oh, I just blundered this. He missed it, though. Yeah, he really outplayed me there. I can't lie. But I think in the end, we're actually going to end up being okay here. Or will we? Whew, man. Yeah, he really outplayed me there. I can't lie. But we will take the win. If he didn't berserk us, he definitely would have had me. Even being up a rook and a pawn for a bishop, it was just a weird position where he was able to get. I don't really know how I was supposed to stop his pawns there. I think I made a mistake somewhere there in converting to the end game. But either way, he had me for sure there. Okay, up against this guy. This is the guy that played 2 knights in the first game. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm just going to have to go for it. I really don't want to go for d6. And to be quite honest with you, I really don't want to waste e5 as well, because I think I'm going to need to use that against someone else. So instead, I'm just going to go for this line, which is a very inferior line. Honestly, I'm probably going to lose this game, and maybe he takes here, which would be nice. But yeah, like, he's just up a clean rook right now. I mean, I guess he hasn't even pushed his e-pawn yet. I would highly recommend doing that if I were him, because it's actually kind of scary for him. I can go f5 here. Yeah, f5 seems like a good move. He's got to play h4 now. Only move, I believe. And then after queen f6, I am threatening this. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play it because I want to get my queen out of that square. Right now, his queen is kind of trapped on the edge, and I can maybe go something like b5 and kind of get it trapped in this corner over here. I think he just missed my idea here. Queen d4. He needed to go e3 there, and then he was definitely better, but I maybe had some ideas with like f4, although this idea of bishop h3 would have been pretty strong for him. So maybe he was just completely winning after e3 there. But his queen was also kind of stranded on the side of the board there. So, all right, in RK round, it does go down. Oh boy. Oh boy, I hope I don't get matched up against this guy. It's literally an instant loss if I do. I'm actually on a decent little streak here. And if I do get matched up against him, I really hope I'm just white. Although it looks like we both had black last game. So we'll see. If I can get white against him, then I can open with my last remaining good move, which is e3. Although he knows me so well, it may just be worth, because I know I can't get like a super winning position against him anyway out of e3. Maybe I just start with something like knight c3 instead. Okay, here we are. We do have white against him, so we can't go knight f3. We can't go knight h3. We've gone b4, b3, and c3. There's a few options here. I think I'm going to go knight c3. I'm going to open with knight c3 here. If he goes e6, we can transpose with e3. If he goes knight f6, I think I'll just play e4 and transpose into that. If he goes here, I'm not actually too worried. I'm still just going to go e3. I actually know this line pretty well. This idea doesn't work though, because you've played c6, so there's no knight c6 here. It's not a bad opening for him, but it's not like in a lot of lines when you're trading this queen off here for the two minors like this kind of thing happens a lot. It can actually be quite good for the player that's doing that. In this line, it's not bad for black. It's just not that good. Yeah, it's really not that effective. Although I just blundered. I guess I have to go a3 here, which is kind of a sad move to make. I have to play it though. I can't go c3. He just has knight b4 there. Oh. Yeah, this is silly. Like maybe e4 is an idea. After which he could go here, takes here. That doesn't look good at all. Okay. I'll trade off these two knights and let his bishop get in. That's okay. If he wants to do that, I'm willing to do that. My king can sit on f1 pretty happily. It is some play for him, but it's not the worst thing in the world here. This isn't too bad. My rook is active. My pieces over here should be relatively active. In fact, I can already take here. I don't think it's that bad. I'm trying to think. I need to be worried about b6, bishop a6 as well. I need to be really worried about that. Let's expand in the center as quickly as possible here. Yeah, force him to make a decision. I don't want to give him any time to do this. He probably will go b6 here, if I'm being quite honest. Okay, that's a really good move. I can't take there because then he just takes there, and I think he's doing better. Although maybe I would have had knight f4 there. No, I think just g6. Yeah, I think I played that correctly. Okay, he wants to get b5 in now, I'm sure. But that's okay. It would just be a trade back if he were to take here. Now I can go here, and after he takes, I have queen b5 potentially. Okay, but instead we go into this. Oh, man, this is not a good position. He's played this really well. My queen is just so not good here. He's going to go b5 for sure. He doesn't do it. Okay, now I have bishop c3, though. After takes, I can take here with check. So he's got to give up his good bishop. Now I'm in the driver's seat once again. Threatening h5 to break open this. And still threatening queen c3. It's not a bad move, but I think I'm just going to sack my rook for that. Let's go ahead and go h5. He really doesn't want to do f5 because it's opening up queen c3. He's got to play b4 here. He had to play b4, I think. Now, don't know the best way to do this. Oh, how do I win this? It's actually not so clear. I think I have to take a draw. Or maybe queen b3. That was risky. Yeah, I think I just have to take a draw here. So I can't even trade off here. Okay, wow, he's going for more now. Oh, shoot, he can win. Oh, wait, not quite. Rook d6. Doesn't quite work, though. I think I might be able to actually convert this. He may have just blundered. Yeah, the other option was just to go here and after trading, get a perpetual with the rooks. There was no way for me to even do something like queen e5. He's got the 2-to-1 advantage here. So in any position, I have to know this. In any position, oh boy, I think I still lose, actually. Oof, let's go here. Maybe I can hold on for a draw. Maybe, I think. I missed this idea of b4 and rook c6. I think this is a draw, though, thankfully. Yeah, but in any position where the queens and the rooks came off the board, it doesn't matter how many pawns I want in the center of the board. He's got a 2-to-1 advantage over here, and there's no way that I'm gonna be able to win that, at least by my calculation. I may have miscalculated, but I think that's right. Okay, I'm happy with a draw here. Let's see if I had anything better. That was really crazy. So yeah, my other consideration was queen e5. But say even after something like d takes, rook here takes, do I get over in time? I think he's just gonna win that race. I think my king is too far back. His pawns are further pushed forward than mine. So I think I would just lose that. And after this, I think I had to go queen d3. Yeah, queen d3 would have been winning here. Keeping this threat of this diagonal open. Yeah, let's check and make sure, but I think queen d3 had to have been winning there. Yeah, only moved a spot. I was low on time and I just assumed queen a4 was the right idea, but I didn't think about this idea of rook c6. I guess while we're here, let's go ahead and check my other idea. I'm guessing this was losing. Yep, as I expected. Okay, I didn't have to go for perpetual. E4. That makes way too much sense. Queen a3, I don't fully understand, to be honest. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. What was the chat saying there? I'm curious. What were they saying? How did he make this a draw? Yeah, crazy game. Great game to my opponent. Yeah, have a lot of respect for my boy RK there. But hey, I'm not upset about a draw there. Okay, here we go. Okay, I did say earlier in the video I'll Zerg back. He's going knight h3, which is good because we haven't gotten one of these positions yet. So we can just play what we would normally play here. I guess we'll push e5. Are we losing here already or what? Yeah, important to go. I kind of learned this from Never. Important after this idea of d6 boxing in this pawn. You pretty much always want to go for c5, c4, although low-key am I cooked right now. This isn't good. I'm already struggling here. Yeah, knight d5 here. This is not good. I think I have to trade off my queen. But as I was saying, generally you want to go for c5 and c4, just kind of blocking these pieces here. But maybe that's not a good principle when the knight is still on the board, because he really easily just moved that knight, and there was nothing I could do there. Oh boy, I think I'm already lost here. Queen g4. Okay, yeah, that works too. Guess we'll go ahead and take just for kicks and giggles, but yeah, queen g4. Okay, is he gonna go queen g4? Yep, there he goes. Let's see if he blunders something here. I mean, he did kind of miss a free win, but I don't think it matters. All right, well played. Well played. Yeah, I can't be too upset about that though. He is a very strong player and definitely got me into an opening that I was very unfamiliar with. I don't even know about e5. This is an interesting line. I want to look at this more. Yeah, wow, he's already winning after e5. Good to know. And then yeah, after c5, he was just so easily able to get his knight in. Did seem pretty hopeless from the start. And this is what I'm talking about. This happens probably more to me. Maybe I'm a bit weaker at openings than some other players, but at the top level, you can still just get beat by openings that you don't know. Okay, here we go. Going up against RK. Let's go with e3. We still have some other moves, like d4 is a solid move we can use. g3 is a solid move we can use. So we've got some solid moves still left to go, and there's only 12 minutes left. This is probably the best player that we're going to play in the tournament. So let's go ahead and use our last good opening. Go ahead and get it out of the way. And Like I said, I'm really not too worried about the white pieces anyway. I don't need to save openings that badly. I'm really just concerned about the black side at this point, to be honest. Sorry, I'm low-key ADHD, bro. Alright, let me focus on this game. Alright, so I'm familiar with this line. I think b3, at some point, there is this idea of takes. Okay, not anymore. People always go bishop a3 there, but I want to say maybe pawn a3 is the computer idea. After bishop a3, I'm looking at knight d4 right now. Asking myself what I'll do. Oh, I have bishop c4 here. If he doesn't play rook f8, I can go bishop c4, I think. And force his king back. Wait, so why wouldn't I just do bishop c4 now? Because b3 is always what's played there. I don't really know. Wait, why wouldn't I just go bishop c4 immediately? Okay, I didn't want to look at that after the game. Okay, now we can go bishop a3. And there's no knight d4 because we've got queen d8 there. Yeah, I thought he might go here. Do I have this immediately? Or maybe I just start with rook c1, I guess. Yeah, start with rook c1. There's still no knight getting out. See if I'd taken there. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked. Okay. Although, why do I feel like I'm low-key messed up at some point? Because I'm not too happy with my position. I mean, his rook in the corner is going to struggle for sure. I guess he wants to go like this, so I need to make something happen pretty quickly here. Why does this feel not good? Yeah, that's a solid move. I'm not too worried about pawn g5 here. Do I really have to take this draw, though? Let's go f4. Try to make something happen. Currently, there's still no rook getting in because of this, but he can just go knight b4, I think, and he's just chilling. Let's get an attack here on the king side. After knight h4, I'm looking at queen d6, and then he'll have rook e8. And then I'm trying to think. I'll maybe have takes. Looks like I'll maybe at least have a draw at the end of that, because then rooks get traded off, and then my rook's coming in. Although he would have like bishop c8, bishop d7 to block it off there. Okay, let's just keep pushing these pawns in front of his king. Something's gotta give eventually here. Let's just open it up. Man, this is not good at all. Let's go here, just threatening to take here. Okay, now we're threatening to capture here. Potentially. Yeah, I gotta save my rook. But there's takes here. Yeah. I guess I can move my king here, but yeah, I'm worried about this idea. This is gonna be a loss for me. There's no way I can recover this. Maybe I can go for tricks here, but he's got both of his knights. They can hop in and block. Seems pretty hopeless. Maybe I can work my queen in somehow. Oh, just doesn't work. Dang, bro. GG's. Where did I go wrong there? Maybe bishop c4 is at some point. Maybe pawn a3 instead of bishop a3 is probably what I should have gone for. At least it gives us a chance to learn together. Yeah, so why not just bishop c4 immediately, though? I don't understand. What's wrong with this? Because you are forcing king, and then you can just go b3. And people just go b6 anyway. I knew this was some kind of idea here. Okay, anyway. Something for me to look into, but bishop c4. I knew there was something like this at some point. Okay, yeah, so that was my mistake. Bishop a3. Yeah, super rare line here. Only been reached 34 times. Maybe bishop c4 is the weird move. Yeah, I knew a3. Okay, yeah, so bishop c4 and then just taking there, and then his queen is pretty much trapped. Okay. We have lost a couple games here, but we can recover this. Okay, so we haven't even played e5 yet. So let's go with, this may be our last black game, though. Let's just go d6. Let's go d6. I don't really want to use this against any other rating anyway. I'm pretty comfortable playing this against a 1400. But I'm pretty confident against 1400s. This is actually quite a fun line. Unless I'm mistaken, I still think after knight f3, d6 is my most common response if you take into account every game I've ever played. Recently, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with the f6 defense. I used to just really just despise it against, like, honestly, like anything except for like knight f3, e3. I just didn't really know that well. I just didn't play anything else, and so I just hated playing f6 if they went for like two knights, if they went for knight f3, knight d4, like anything. Like, it was just like, yeah, I'm just losing this. So recently I've gotten a bit more comfortable with it, and yeah, so I have started to play it more lately. But I think if you look at all my games, I think d6 is still the most common for sure. All right, so we really have, actually this is shaping up to be a pretty good photo finish here, where the one and only Boldy neutral is coming up out of nowhere. It looks like he's played some weaker players, but he did get a win. He got 2 wins against Word. Dang, shout out my boy. That's clutch. If I end up winning the tournament, it's all thanks to Boldy. He's currently in a heater against the Henry. And, oof, I don't know who's winning that. I actually think I prefer his opponent's position, even though he's technically got the knight for the pawn. Oh, sorry, I guess it's knight for 2 pawns. Yeah, and his rook is in a really bad spot. Oh, but he is getting some play here. He's getting some play here on the king. Okay, let's see who we're up against here. Okay, we're up against Word. Awesome. Starts with e3. Perfect. We haven't even faced this yet, so we can easily play e6. And I think this game will end up deciding the whole tournament. So good luck to my opponent. I'm going to play my pet line here of pawn to h5. Just kind of unpreppable, really. I mean, at least in my opinion. It's kind of surprising I'm looking at this down here. I'm higher rated than him, but he actually scores really well against me, 15-9. I've probably played this line against him before, so maybe he is kind of expecting it. But okay, already we've got this threat of f3. He plays a good move there. Let's go g5, g4, and then get this threat going again. He might go maybe pawn h3 here, which is a good move, but maybe I'll go rook g8 and then I'll go for g4. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's still just go ahead and go g4. I'm happy for these pawns to come off the board here. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's try to get this move pawn to f3 in. This is okay because his bishop is currently cut off here. Okay. Kind of tempted to go. I'm just going to do what I feel like. Knight f5 with this idea of knight e3 seems pretty nice. Even if he takes here, I think knight e3 coming with a tempo here and stopping him from castling. And this way, it still stops him from castling because my bishop comes out this way now. So I'm feeling pretty good here. He can't go rook g1 because I've got f2 and I'm taking on g1. So what will he do here? His king is pretty much going to get stuck on d1, which is okay. I don't have a light squared bishop, so it's really not the end of the world for him. Let's go ahead and take this knight, and then I'm wanting to come in with rook c8. Okay, let's actually just take his bishop here. Gotta speed up here. Ah, man, I think we had him there, but we just played too slow. I got caught talking, and I ended up playing too slow there. GG to my opponent. He did play really well there, but yeah, this is a prime example of just kind of creating something out of nothing. You're down a bishop and a pawn, but this opening, man, it's super fun. Like, eventually the opponent just makes a mistake, and yeah, was my intuition correct there? Yeah, knight f5 was okay. I guess f3 was also a solid idea, maybe a little bit better. Yeah, just didn't play fast enough. Okay, now we've got to get a quick win, but we can't play any of our normal openings. Let's go g3. Maybe get some cheese here. We can still win if he loses, and oh no, he's going against the 1300, so this has got to be hopeless now. And we fell below 2400, which is pretty sad. I hadn't fallen below it in a while, but I guess I could have guessed that I was going to making this video here today. All right, knight d4. Let's just go e3. We're going to give him this if he wants it, and we'll take checkmate if he does go for that. Pretty much has to take. Even something like f6 doesn't work great. Of course, he finds it. Classic. Okay, luckily, Word doesn't have the best position ever. It's not a bad position by any means, but it's definitely not the best position. Let's just go ahead and take here. He'll probably go g6. Yeah, it's just extending the game. Ugh, dude. I'm not even going to be able to win this game in time, to be honest. I really don't think I'll be able to. Unless I'm able to pull out a miracle here. But, yeah. Oh, boy, we just lost. Oh, my gosh. That's embarrassing. All right. Well played, my opponent. GG's Mac. All right. And he won anyway, so that's what I get for trying to play fast, trying to win a quick one. Man, we started off so well, and then of our last 6 games there, we only ended up winning 1. So, a little disappointing. I guess, I mean, I'm saying disappointing. That's kind of the whole point of the video, right? Like, towards the end of the video, we start to run out of good openings. We play different things. But, I mean, like, he beat us straight up. We played one of our best openings. Same thing with RK. He beat us when we played one of our best openings. So, we were able to kind of save some of the stuff towards the end. And we just got outplayed. But as I always say, it's just a chance to learn. I did a little bit of analysis during the video, and on my own, I always love looking back at my losses. Honestly, especially the ones from the videos, because I feel like when I'm doing the videos, I'm kind of talking about it more, talking about my thoughts. And so if I'm, maybe miscalculating something, like I can actually hear myself say it out loud and kind of go back, look at the audio, and say, okay, maybe I wasn't thinking, correctly about this position here or whatever. But anyway, super fun tournament. Let me know what you guys thought about that idea, about that concept. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win it in the end, but that's okay. We still had a good time, and hopefully we are able to learn a thing or two from the mistakes that we made in this video. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. I appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate you guys watching. I think as I'm making this video, I have 199 subscribers. So if you're watching it and you're not subscribed, now is your chance to become the 200th subscriber. And then when I get really big, when I get like 500 subscribers, you can be like, dude, I was there when he had 200 subscribers. So anyway, I appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate you guys always tuning into the videos, leaving your awesome comments there. Please keep it up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.